Hi, and welcome to the walkthrough of my banking modernization project. The goal of this project is to demonstrate a modernization from an application built in legacy Java using just Java servlets and JSP to modern Spring Boot using Timeleaf for the front end, and everything deployed on EC2. I've also migrated from MySQL to Postgres SQL for the database for a couple of reasons. This is the project, but let me first start by introducing the user interface for the legacy system. This is just an open source project that was out and available in a GitHub repository. I was looking for a project, again, built in Java Enterprise JSP using servlets, deployed on an external Tomcat web server. And this is it. You can see that it has some basic functionalities that represent a banking application, as well as a login with the customer tools. Actually, there's customer administrator and banker tools available. For example, viewing a history of transactions here. So this is the legacy system. Up until this point, this recording is actually being made while I'm currently developing and working still on the migration modernization of this project. So a lot of the time so far has been spent first deploying the project down from GitHub, pulling it down from the public GitHub repo, deploying it to my local machine, and then deploying it to EC2. There's been a lot of configurations and infrastructure work that had to be done for example, Tomcat versus EC2 compatibility. I'm currently on Ubuntu 24. This is recorded in the year 2025. Which is not compatible with the original version of Tomcat used for this system, which is Tomcat 8. It works fine on my local machine, but on EC2, again, running Ubuntu OS, AWS Linux, had to be Tomcat 10. So the servlet dependencies were changed from JavaX to Jakarta, for example. Also, this used MySQL, as I've mentioned, and so I've done the migration from MySQL to Postgres, both on my local development environment and on EC2, which required considerable refactoring, but there are some benefits to this, namely it saves resources on the EC2 because having MySQL and Postgres both on the EC2 server, because Postgres is what I use for some other projects on that server, saves memory, and it's just a better modern database to use for the modernization. So I will segue into the modern version. So far, the static pages are built. Consistent navbar here across pages using Timeleaf fragments. So this is the home page. Another stacked page here is the about page. And so again, this is now using Spring Boot, and it's translated the JSP servlets and JSP pages into Timeleaf pages, which are using a Spring controller class for the page navigation and the HTTP requests. And contact page has been built. So the login and the services are what's upcoming for the rest of this project. Those are the dynamic pages where a lot of the business logic is going to be happening. And right now, the deployment workflow is also under development. It's currently using GitHub Actions for the CI portion of the CI/CD process. GitHub Actions will do the compile and build and test for each push to the repo. And next, there are custom scripts which are doing the delivery part of the CI/CD deployment process. Those custom scripts will be updated for the modern system. They were built when the legacy system was being deployed to EC2. So those will be modified for deploying the modern iterative incremental improvements as it's being developed, as well as Jenkins will be integrated to utilize and orchestrate the execution of the deployment scripts. So that is the current state of this project and the path forward. You can see all of the details currently and as they are released in the repo. Thank you very much for listening.